What is going on, guys? Doing here today, we'll be going over ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol TSLA. Before we get to the video, so I'll let you know this video will be about technical analysis. Will the stock price go within the next few days or weeks? Will not be about news. Let's get straight into it. So, guys, chart looks amazing, man. If you guys have been following the video over the last few days, you started covering Tesla way back when here, and we did mention how we've got a lot of confluence in these support areas, and since then the buyers have not disappointed, guys. We actually got nice and squeezed up, we pressed right in this resistance moment in the apex of this pattern. We jump back in, and we've been breaking out, man. This is really textbook, but we're going to dive a lot deeper into this, guys. We're going to go over the technicals from every single time frame so we can get a full analysis. So let's jump over to weekly so we can start off from a broad bird's eye point of view, and then we'll get a little bit closer until eventually we're at ground level. So we're on the weekly chart. Each one of these candles represents 1 week. And right away, looking at that support level we just mentioned on the daily, that was defended by buyers. This zone actually presses out deep all the way back in August, September of 2024, guys. You see that nice zone. So this makes more sense of why we had these aggressive wicks in defense of the buyers pushing up at this key level, which we've mentioned in the past videos. So we look a little bit closer. Let's go zoom in. I think it's really important to talk about, guys, this bullish engulfing candle. So we do see this big green candle actually encapsulates the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 days of price action. So not only do we have a bullish engulfing on the chart, it's a bullish engulfing that actually engulfs the last 6 candles. So that's a very, very strong buying presence, completely encapsulating the last sessions. So, guys, that looks very, very nice. And we are in a bit of a range. We do see it's a square-like pattern, a rectangle, right? And we do have that hammer pressing up right against it. So from a weekly perspective, guys, we are coming down to this key level after almost completely retracing, right, from $480, $450. We came all the way back down to the beginning of this run up. But guys, we're seeing some really, really nice structure on this. We're seeing a nice rectangle pattern. We're seeing a bullish engulfing with a nice hammer candle pressing up against that. Granted, this weekly candle is just forming, right? It's going to be fully printed by the end of the week, right? But from a weekly perspective, guys, this looks really, really clean. If you've been following the channel, you know I keep it real. I noticed a lot of people on YouTube don't do that. Some people definitely do kind of gap stocks up. They, confirmation bias, The stock looks good, man. It looks really, really good. I actually would expect some short-term price action just from the weekly chart, man. You see it press up to get to these next highs of maybe 307, 310, right? From a weekly perspective, we're getting multiple data points saying that this is a bullish stock. You don't want to short the stock. And it looks really good, man. So with that being said, let's still jump over to the daily chart. Alrighty, guys, we're on the daily time frame. And the first thing that's very, very abundant, okay, is that we had this super nice bounce at that key level, which we've been mentioning over the last few videos. $276 to $273 is a major level. And not only is it a major level, it's actually a gap up zone. Okay, between that 276 to 324, there really isn't a whole lot of room. We have about $50 until the next resistance at $324.40, $324 in that general range. Yeah, if we get rid of all these trend lines, it's a little bit more abundant that the buyers are stepping up when they need to. In a high fear moment, we sink down, buyers step up to the plate. Right when buyers need to step up to the plate, they step up to the plate, right? And again, this is a triple bottom, right? It doesn't take a rocket science to say that, but that's the key trend with the chart. I mean, we've even seen it from a daily analysis, right? We move up, we're getting over these highs, right? Which we mentioned in that key area. And we have a little bit of a dip and we immediately bounce, boom, right at that area. We did draw this up last video as a potential pullback area, which we might come up and bounce. And so far it's been following the trend lines to its teeth. I couldn't have made it up better if I wanted to. So that looks really, really nice. We're going to zoom in a little bit closer for the micro. So, we are in this general range, as we did mention on the weekly, right? This general rectangle pattern, range, whatever you want to call it, same thing, right? Different words for different terminology for the same thing. So we are in this range, guys. So once we do clear over this confluence area on the last 3 days, that 295 level, we're really going to take off, man. At least it should. That's what the implied probability does show on the daily time frame. So keep an eye on that. There could be a potential huge move, and especially when we go back to the resistance points, you see that there is a $50 gap up from that 276 to 324. And we're about, 30% of the way there. But there is no major resistance levels until that 324.40, guys. So, it's like a plan. Or say a car, right? You want to drive a car, and it's wet outside and it's muddy. It's going to be a lot harder when it's a clear, dry atmosphere. You got a clear runway. So that's what we're looking at for Tesla right now, guys. It doesn't really have a lot of roadblocks ahead of it. Yeah, granted, there can be short-term roadblocks and micro, you know, resistance points on the hourlies and whatnot. Yeah. But as far as the daily perspective, guys, there actually is no major levels to keep an eye on. So with that being said, we're going to head over to the last step of the equation, go to the hourly chart so you can get a good idea of the ground level analysis and to wrap this up. So on the hourly chart, guys, and it really is funny how it exactly bounced to that area we marked up in the last video. Will it follow this 2T? Who knows? We'll figure it out. I actually do think there is more ceiling to this next higher high in this moment. But that's the trend, guys, right? We're seeing a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. The next question is, hey, when's the next higher high? It's so simple, guys, but that's one of the most important things to keep an eye on for a stock. It's one of the most important data points you keep an eye on, right? Stocks come up, they come down. It's a stair-step-like effect. And when you can really keep a good eye on that and you have years of expertise following these movements, it's such a simple thing, guys. I think it's overlooked massively. But as far as an hourly perspective for levels we need to keep an eye on, as you mentioned, right, there's hourly, potential hourly resistance levels and whatnot. Really nothing too major. We'll go over that in the next thing, right? But as far as right now, there is a support level on the hourly. We do see right there at that zone, right about there, 286.50. We've seen this massive euphoric move right here. Very, very nice euphoric move. We came all the way up. We wicked. We rejected off it once, twice, and then we came up and wicked. We had a big break over that level. We had the close of the candle directly on it, and then we sink right beneath it. Then we had this nice run up at that nice support level, and boom, came up. 1, 2 rejections, came back down, pressed up against it for 2 hours, and boom. So keep an eye on 286.50. If we do come down to that level, keep an eye on it. That will be an hourly perspective for those who do watch the stock closer than others. But this isn't the most important level. We'll keep this on the chart, guys. It will be important to keep an eye on as far as an hourly perspective. But man, the stock looks good. So that's it, man. We're going to keep it raw. We're not going to, do too much. That's the motto around here, guys. Technical analysis without the BS. I think most people, when they start trading stocks, the first 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it may be, you pull up all these indicators, you pull for straws. But in reality, guys, the guys who are really doing this are the ones who keep it fundamental. They get down their basis, and that's what we need to keep an eye on, guys, if you ask me, right? Just keep an eye on these higher lows, these higher highs, the chart's looking strong. All right, keep an eye on 286.50 if you watch on a micro analysis perspective for a bounce. But yeah, 324.40, man, that's the next key level we're going to watch for resistance. We will cover Tesla a couple of times.